God creates dinosaurs. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates... another collection of retro video games? Oh, okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lazy Day Game Reviews. I'm Dakota, and today we're discussing the recently released Jurassic Park Classic Games collection from Limited Run Games. Real quick, I wanted to thank Limited Run Games for providing a review copy for this game, and also just a real quick thank you to you, the audience, for clicking on this video. I'm still starting out as a small channel. I don't even have an editor or anything like that, and every view or like on the channel is just a massive win, so thank you so much for watching. Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection features 7 Jurassic Park titles from the 8-bit and 16-bit era of gaming. Each one getting some quality of life improvements like save states, rewind functionality, and maps for each game when necessary. You even get this really fun title screen that's essentially just the park gates, but it's a really nice way to let the players know, past here lies nothing but danger. Most of the games come either from Ocean Software or Blue Sky Software, and if you grew up in the 90s, you're probably really familiar with these two companies. Blue Sky was always synonymous, for me personally, with Vector Man, and when it comes to Ocean Software, I always directly related them to the 1989 Batman game. They're not bad companies by any means. In fact, they're pretty decent. They just happen to put out a lot of licensed titles with really well-known IP. So there's no need to dust off your NES, go rifling through your drawers for your old Game Boy. Oh, and hey, real quick, this is just your reminder to clean out that junk drawer. It's time. People can see that. Or, climb into your attic for your old Sega Genesis, because we've got them all right here in this collection. I really gotta appreciate the trend of porting old games to be accessible on modern consoles. It's definitely something that's taken off more predominantly in the last 2 years, and I definitely do appreciate that. So without further ado, let's talk about Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection. Like I said before, we have 7 titles in total, so yeah, there's gonna be some overlaps and similarities between some of these games, of course. It's not like they're spin-offs, these are all main titles directly associated with those movies. I guess this is just because the collection is actually released to coincide with the 30-year anniversary of the original film. We've got Jurassic Park 8-bit, Genesis, 16-bit, Portable, Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues, Jurassic Park 2 Portable, and Jurassic Park Rampage Edition, and I'll be honest, the naming convention on these doesn't do me much help in understanding where these games came from historically, but let's just assume that Jurassic Park 8-bit is from the NES. Genesis, I don't think I have to explain that one. 16-bit is also the Genesis. Jurassic Park 2 Chaos Continues is actually the Super Nintendo, and both portables are for the Game Boy. And Rampage Edition is also for the Genesis, so kind of confusing, but they're visually distinct enough to tell apart otherwise. Jurassic Park 8-bit has players assume the role of Dr. Grant, collecting dino eggs and key cards before progressing to the next level. 16-bit simply asks players to get to the end of a level to progress, this time giving you 2 characters to play as, Dr. Grant or a f***ing Velociraptor. Chaos Continues is essentially a Contra clone, with players taking up missions to find and bring back certain items in attempts to stop rival company Biosyn from taking any intel because they're trying to reopen the park or something. It's not really thoroughly explained. Jurassic Park Portable serves as a ported version of the 8-bit version for NES, and Portable 2 is wholly unique. While it does bear the same name as Chaos Continues, it's actually a different game with gameplay more akin to Mutant Mudds, and I'll be honest, this one was hands down my favorite. I had a lot more fun with this one than the other ones compared. I'm not about to go reviewing these games individually, I just wanted to give you a brief overview as to what they're about. There's already a couple hundred reviews and walkthroughs on YouTube that you can go check out, and honestly, these games are kind of hard. I wasn't about to go put myself through the ringer just to get through each one in time for this review. I got as far as I could, just enough to form an opinion. I know that quality of life improvements are a staple in most of these collections, and with regard to how difficult and unforgiving these games can be, as I previously mentioned, it's greatly appreciated. Save states are always incredibly appreciated by me personally. I generally don't have as much time to sit down and dedicate 2 hours to gaming through something, so if I can play for 30 minutes and hit pause and come back to it later, that's great. I didn't rely too heavily on the rewind function, but in rare moments it did help me circumvent some of the stuff that was really causing me grief during my playthroughs. There is also the option to reduce your screen size, and that's something I would highly recommend. Don't get me wrong, these games look great, and they're like a glimpse into the past, but when you take such a pixel-dense image and stretch it out for modern TVs, it looks awful. Reduce the screen size and enjoy. The art style of the new UI is really cool too. Little nods on the pause menu, like the Jeep being The art style of the new UI is really cool. And there's little nods to the franchise, like the pause menu being the Jeep side mirror, and even the optional border kind of just reflecting the tropical sunset of Jurassic Park. There's even a little music room complete with its own interface that looks like an old 90s computer running coded scripts. Little things like that just add to the value and show the intended care when it comes to compiling a collection like this. Limited Run Games, from what I can tell, had a small team of about 30 or so people working on this in total. But a lot of the 30 is marketing and other positions, as you could tell from the credits. There were people at Universal who also had some role in the production of the collection, but they kind of seem to be listed well down the line, so let's just ignore that. My estimate is that there was probably less than 10 people in total actually working on the ports themselves, and unfortunately there's only one person credited for QAing this game. Which brings me to the only downside of this entire review: performance issues. Unfortunately, there is a hefty amount of frame droppage and stuttering while playing the Genesis version, something that I didn't notice when I was watching other people's playthroughs on YouTube of the original cartridge version. This is actually the only place I ran into this issue, and I gotta say it's only disheartening solely for the fact that the Genesis version has some of the best sprite art in this collection. During streams, I was having to constantly fight the lag and the slowed down gameplay, only for it to speed up and careen me to my death. Especially during jumps, I noticed it was really difficult to control where I was going to land because the stuttering frames and that slowed down gameplay really did not give me much control. All in all, everything else ran perfectly fine, and I'm sure it's possible to patch the game out to fix that issue. So, to sum things up, if you're an almost 30-something-year-old like myself, this is absolutely a collection worthy of celebrating 30 years of Jurassic Park. Generally, that's who these collections are made for. It's not for a little Timmy down the street. No, it's for the aging demographic that's trying to recapture a smidgen of the wonder and the joy they felt as a kid, playing this game for the first time before coming back to the reality that is life. Ugh. That got depressing. I do apologize. So that's it. I really enjoyed Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection, and personally, I think Limited Run Games would be absolutely foolish to not pursue a sequel collection. There's a metric ton of fantastic Jurassic Park games lost to time, stuck on old hardware, and I know that means more work, more development, and more time chasing down the proper license holders, but it would be amazing to see. I know they've got the manpower to make it happen, and if anything, I think this is a testament to Limited Run Games' abilities. I knew they were always able to crank out other people's games, but it's nice to see something come from them directly, and it's pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in the Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection, it's no longer available on the Limited Run Games website. I'm sure if you want a physical copy, you can find one on eBay. Possibly. However, if you're just looking to experience some really fun games and you don't care about what format it's on, you can pick this game up digitally on most platforms. I believe it's about $30, and I do believe that to be a fair price point. Thank you guys so much for watching. Did you enjoy this content? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below. If you didn't, I also want to hear about it. Feel free to drop a like, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. You have a good one.